Hey guys, what's up? It's Iflin here, and in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how you can go about farming any Prime Warframe or any Prime weapon in the game for 100% free, no money spent. So before we make the decision to actually farm Prime Frames, we need to make sure that the Prime Frame that we want is actually in rotation in the game. Now you see, not every single Prime Frame or Prime weapon for that matter is going to be available for you to farm all of the time on your own. Sometimes you're going to have to trade relics or Prime items with players to get the Prime Frame or Prime weapon that you want. And this is because of vaulting. Basically what Digital Extremes do is they take a Prime Frame and the weapons that came with them and they lock them away so their relics no longer drop in the star chart. You need these relics to actually farm up the frame and the weapons. So I'm going to have this webpage linked in the description below, and this is basically just a wiki page that shows you which frames are currently vaulted. So any frame that has the letter V beside them, that means they're vaulted. Any frame that has the letter R beside them means that you can get it from Varzia Dax in Maru's Bazaar or from Prime Resurgence, and any frame that has the letter P beside them means that they're permanently unvaulted. So as of me making this video, the only frames that are available to farm are Barik Prime, Gauss Prime, Brendel Prime, Hildren Prime, Nyx Prime, Protea Prime, Revenant Prime, Valkyr Prime, and Wisp Prime. So I would be able to farm up all of those Prime frames on my own if I really wanted to, and all of the weapons that came with them. Like I said, I'm going to have this webpage linked in the description below, so you can go ahead and check that out if you're watching this video much later into the future. So to get Prime Warframes and Prime weapons, we need to get Void Relics, and you can get Void Relics simply just by completing missions on the star chart. You're going to accumulate a lot of relics as you just casually play. If we go ahead and interact with the console here, which is just straight in front of your arsenal, you're going to be able to see the relics that you have. As you can see, I've got many relics just from my time playing Warframe over the years. And what you can do is you can go ahead and type in the name of the Warframe or weapon that you want into the search bar, and you can see which relics you own or which relics you don't own that drop the parts that you need for the Prime Frame or Prime weapon. So let's do a little test, and let's go ahead and we type in Zephyr. And what you'll see is that there's many different kinds of relics popping up. We have Neo relics, Meso relics, Lith relics, and Axii relics. And these are the main four types of relics which are going to drop Prime items. Basically, they are sorted by difficulty, so Lith are the easiest relics, which are used in the lowest level missions. Meso is a step up from that. Neo is another jump up from that again, and an Axii is the final jump up from that. They don't get any more difficult than Axii relic. Obviously, because the type of relic correlates with the difficulty, you farm these relics from different locations. So at the start of the game, you're more likely to get Lith relics, then after the beginning, you're more likely to get Meso, then whenever you're kind of halfway through, you get a mix of Meso and Neo, and then at the end, you're getting a mix of Axii and Neo relics. So if you come out of the Void Relic console and you head to the front of your ship, you're going to see this little flame icon in the top right, and it's called Void Fissures. So if you go ahead and you press that little flame icon, a big list is going to drop down with a bunch of different missions, and they're going to be labeled differently based on the type of relic that they allow you to open. These first two missions, they both say Lith Fissure, which means I can open a Lith relic by playing these missions. The Mobile Defense and the Capture and the Spy, they allow me to open up the Meso relics. The Interception, Spy, and Exterminate allows me to open up the Neo relics that I've got. Then the Survival mission allows me to open up the Axii relic. There are other types of relics in the game, but we're just going to be sticking to the base 4 for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a quick demonstration of how you actually crack open a relic. Now to begin with, I'm going to do this solo, but I'm telling you now, it's worth it every single time to play these missions co-op. So I'm going to go ahead and play the fastest mission that I can, and honestly, whenever it comes opening up relics, you should as well. Just play the fastest missions available. So I'm going to go ahead and select this Capture, and I want to open up a Meso F2 relic, as that's going to drop me either an Ember Prime Chassis, a Reaper Prime Blade, or a Frost Prime Blueprint. Now you can actually see the rarity of the items from the relic that you've chosen based on the colors of the line beneath them. So this bronze means common, the silver means uncommon, and the gold means rare. At the end of the mission, once you've opened up the relic, you're actually going to get a resource known as Void Traces, and these Void Traces allow you to upgrade the next relic that you open. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to come to the screen and you'd have to select one of these little options down here, and as you can see, I can upgrade it for 25 Void Traces, 50 Void Traces, or 100 Void Traces, and you can see these bars move. So if I hover over Exceptional, the bronze gets smaller, the silver gets bigger, and the gold gets bigger. But then if I upgrade for 100, the gold is really big, the silver is really big, and the bronze has got a lot smaller. So it's more likely that I get the rare, and the uncommon. So I'm just going to go ahead and spend the traces to upgrade my Meso F2 relic, and that turns it into a Radiant Meso F2 relic. You go ahead and you press equip for mission, you press yes, and the mission's going to start. This is just like any other mission in the game. All you have to do is complete the main objective. So in our case, it's going to be capture. But what's going to happen is these little portals are going to spawn in, and they are going to corrupt the enemies that are in the mission as well. Now, these corrupted enemies are going to drop these little reactants that you have to pick up, and the game wants you to pick up 10 of them before you complete the mission, so the relic actually opens. So as you can see, I've got 3 right now. I killed this group of enemies. I just got another one. I'm going to go ahead and kill the capture target whenever he reveals himself to me. Now that the main objective is complete, I just go ahead, I run towards the exit while making sure to kill any enemies that drop these reactants for me. Got my 7th. There's number 8, number 9, and 10. So you get a little buff once you've collected all 10, but because the mission is already over, that doesn't really matter. And hopefully, if we're lucky, I will have gotten the Frost Prime blueprint that we wanted. Now, you're going to see it in the mission rewards bit. We actually got the Ember Prime chassis, which is the common part, so that's not so great. Now, it is down to pure chance what you get, but I'm going to go ahead and take my own advice, set this on public. I'm going to do the exact same mission again. I'm just going to go ahead and use a different relic this time. So I'm going to use a Meso 03, as I can get a Vault Prime chassis from this or Worm Prime systems. I'm going to go ahead and press equip for mission, and what's going to happen is it's going to put me into a random lobby with random teammates, or it's going to make me the host and random people are going to join on to me. In co-op, it's the exact same deal. You just have to complete the main objective and then wait for the enemies to become corrupted, kill them, and then pick up 10 reactant. An important thing to note though, you want to make sure that all of your teammates have collected all 10 of their reactant, and you can see that on the top right hand corner of the screen just beneath your health. So I can see that Mr. Yofel, he's got 4, Arborin 404, he's got 4, and Sarah, she's got 4 as well. Yofel suddenly has 7, and I'm running around like a headless chicken, not picking anything up. I've got 7, and he's got a total of 9. He's running towards the exit. I'm the slowpoke today. I've got all 10. Somehow he doesn't have 10, and I'm probably going to beat him to the exit as well now. Not that it's a competition or anything, but yeah, I want to wait for all of my teammates to get 10 reactant before starting the timer, because if you're playing in a 4-player mission, and 2, if you stand in the objective here, it's going to start a timer and it's going to force extract after a minute. So as you can see, Yofel standing on there. I don't want to stand on there until Sarah's got all of hers. She's taking her time. As you can see, I've got 2 teammates that are standing on the extraction, and poor Sarah hasn't got her 10th reactant yet. And with 30 seconds left on the clock, Sarah has actually found her last reactant. I was actually going to go help her by giving her a speed buff, but now I can stand on the objective without worrying. Now, implying all 4 players have got all 10 reactant, you're going to see a selection on the screen, and I actually ended up getting the rare part this time, so everybody's went to mine. So if you don't happen to get what you want and someone else gets what you want, you can go ahead and you can press on the reward that you actually want on the screen. You're welcome, Yofel. Okay, so we know that we need relics, and we know how to open the relics. We also know how to upgrade the relics, but how do we actually focus farm a relic? It's actually extremely easy. What you want to do is you want to make your way over to the Void. You can do this as early as Phobos. If you want to farm up Lift relics, you want to go ahead and just keep on playing Hepit, and at the end of this mission, you're always going to get a Lift relic. Then, if you want to farm Meso or Neo, you come here and you play Ukko. Now, you can come here as early as Neptune, but you can get Meso relics far before this. You can farm a ton of Meso relics and also Lift relics from Olympus on Mars. As you can see here on rotation C, it literally only drops Meso relics. Then rotations A and B, it drops Lift relics. And it's cool because it is a disruption mission, so you can actually manipulate which drop table you pull from. But we're going to talk about how to do that in a little bit. Then for Axii relics, you want to come over here to Apollo on Lua. It's the same type of mission as Olympus. And if we pull up the drop table for Apollo, you can see that rotation B literally only drops Axii relics. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how we can actually play the Lua disruption mission, because what we have to do is we need to manipulate the drop tables, because we want to only pull from drop table B. To do this, I'm going to be running Rhino or Rhino Prime with a build that looks like this. It's quite easy. I've got the Nadarik on here, so you get this from the new War Quest with a pretty simple build. A beginner Spore Lacer Kick Gun, which you can get from Fortuna and Demo. Deimos, and the Zorus with a 2x heavy spam build. Now you don't need this entire loadout to be able to do this. This is just what I recommend you try and shoot for if you're struggling. So if you've never played Disruption before, basically what happens is there's 4 different tires, and these tires all have their own color. Now we have to run around and just kill as many enemies as we possibly can until they drop a color-coded key. Eventually the enemies are going to drop a key which matches the color of one of the tires, so you want to go ahead and put it into the right tire. And what's going to happen is one of the enemies is going to spawn in sort of like a boss enemy. They're known as a demolisher, and they're eventually going to become marked, or the direction that they're in is going to become marked. And if you listen for the beeping, that's where they're at. Now we want to kill this guy as quick as we possibly can, because if he gets near the tire, he's going to explode and destroy it, and that's going to basically prevent our progress and make it so we get worse rewards. You can manipulate which rewards you get by either killing these demolisher enemies or letting them destroy the tires. So here on round 1, if we want a drop from drop table B, we need to defend all 4 tires, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we're about to kill the final demolisher and defend the 4th tire on round 1, and as you can see, as this enemy dies, bottom left hand corner, we got ourselves an Axie L6 relic. Now what you can do if you want to see what's inside the relic while you're in the mission is just go ahead and get to a safe location, open up your chat, go ahead, type a square bracket, then type in the name of the relic that you got. So in our case, Axie L6. We can go ahead and we can click on the little thing here, and we can see, if Little Duck would like to get out of the way, that we got a Fang Prime Blade, Paris Prime Blueprint, Zylock Prime Barrel, Cobra and Crane Prime Blade, Hildren Prime Chassis, and a Larkspur Prime Barrel from this relic. Now on round 2, if you want to get a drop from drop table B, you can either defend 3 of the tires or you can defend all 4. This is the final tire and final demolisher on round 2, and as you guys can see, guaranteed Axie relic again. We got Axie F2. Now here on round 3, you can get away with only defending 2 tires to get a drop from rotation B, or you can go ahead and defend 3 tires, but if you defend 4 tires, you're going to get a drop from rotation C. So the reason that we want to avoid getting a drop from rotation C is simply because rotation C adds another 2 items to the drop table. So instead of the Axie relics having a basically guaranteed chance to drop, they go to having a 12% chance to drop. Rotation C just makes the relics a little bit more less likely to drop, so going for rotation B is just pretty much better because there's only Axie relics in rotation B. Less items to pull from basically just means more chance for you to get what you want. So round 3, I've already defended 3 of the tires. I'm going to let the demolisher go ahead and blow this one up, and you'll see that I will still guaranteed get an Axie relic because I'm still pulling from drop table B. Now the demolisher successfully blowing up a tire is going to look and sound a little bit like this. If you'd like to stop shooting at me and actually blow it up, there you go. He goes boom. Defense field, and we still got an Axie relic. Okay, so from round 4 and up, you're only allowed to defend 2 of the tires to get a drop from rotation B. Otherwise, you're going into rotation C territory if you defend 3 or more, and basically you get a chance to get a Lua Lens Blueprint or a universal medallion, so decreasing the chance that you actually get an Axie relic, and that's not what we're here for. We're here for only Axie relics, and we want to efficiently farm those Axie relics. Keep in mind, if you're doing this with friends, each of you is going to get one of the relics that you actually get. So while it may be slow for you to sort of wait for the demolisher enemies to come and blow up the tire, if you're playing co-op with buds, it's definitely worth it, just simply because, you know, we're all going to get a relic. You're going to get 4 of the relic, guaranteed drops, all that good stuff. I could see an argument for just skipping straight to rotation C if you're playing on your own, though, with randoms maybe, because there's a chance that the randoms are going to go kill the demolisher anyway if they're not paying any attention to the text chat. So in that case, it's totally fine to just go ahead and rush and kill all 4 demolishers because it is quite quick, so you can just get another round out of the way. And while, yeah, you're getting a drop from rotation C, there's still a ton of Axie relics in rotation C anyway. Alright, so round 4, and only the 2nd tire that I've defended here. And as you can see, 2 tires defended, Axie G11 relic. So as you guys can see, 4 rounds of disruption yielded 4 Axie relics. So no matter the prime warframe or prime weapon that you're trying to farm, Those are the 4 missions that you want to do to farm up the Lith, Meso, Neo, and Axii relics to get the Prime Warframes and Prime Weapons. Even the latest Prime Warframe and Prime Weapon releases can be farmed from these locations. So Hepit in the Void for Lith, Ukko in the Void for Meso and Neo. If you only want to farm Meso, you can come and do the Disruption on Olympus, forcing it to Rotation C. And if you want to farm Axii relics, you want to come to Apollo on Lua and force it to Rotation B. And that is pretty much it. That is how you farm any Prime Weapon or Prime Warframe that is currently in the game for free. If you want to get a vaulted Prime Warframe or weapon for free, you have to trade some of the Prime Warframes and Prime Weapon parts that you're farming by opening up relics. You trade these for platinum by using Warframe.market, and then you can go ahead and search for people who are actually trading the Prime Warframes and weapons that you want using that website as well. Or potentially, as you're playing some random relic missions, maybe somebody has a relic for a part that you need, because even though the relics aren't dropping, some players will still have relics for certain Prime Warframes and Prime Weapons that they can use and open. As you guys seen earlier in the video, Ember Prime, Frost Prime, Volt Prime, they're all vaulted, but I could still use the relics to go and farm their parts because I've got a lot of them. And that's pretty much it. That's all you need to know whenever it comes to farming Prime Warframes and Prime Weapons within Warframe for free. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe as it helps the channel a lot. If you want to get early access to my videos, you can become a channel member by pressing the join button beneath this video for $5 a month. Or if you want early access to other cool resources and behind the scenes content, you can subscribe to my Patreon for less than $5 a month. Consider clicking on the video on screen, and I'll see you guys in the next one.